Hey, it's my home. I later learned we were being kept in a place in Edo known as Itabashi, and so we traveled to the town's outskirts to seclude ourselves in my childhood home. According to Soma, Hijikata had found safe refuge in Aizu and was plotting his next course of action. On one particular day, I ran some errands in town and returned to a heated conversation at home. We're just casually living here now.
Damn it, what are we supposed to do? All of the Sekisho are under tight watch from Imperial troops. No ins and outs. Unless something big happens, we can just kiss the idea of catching up with the commander goodbye.
Oh, welcome back, Ms. Yukimura. I trust that your errands went without a hitch.
Soma and Nomura often spent several hours of each day deliberating an appropriate course of action to take ourselves safely toward Aizu, but... I stared at Soma, shivering in silence as he stood up and slowly approached me.
Did something happen?
While I was out to buy produce, someone had been doing public announcements in the marketplace, and I bought a woodblock tile to bring back home. Kondo is... I stopped myself from finishing. They immediately picked up on my strange behavior and snatched the woodblock from my hand before reading it. My hands flew over my mouth in shock. You're in shock because they took the woodblock from you? Both Nomura and Soma scanned the woodblock. It read, infamous chief of the Shinsengumi, Isumi Kondo, had been beheaded at the Itabashi execution grounds. A concise, stoic description of a terrible tragedy. Both of them were stone-faced, standing at a loss for words as the news sank in.
What? They decapitated him? This is a joke, right? This is the chief they're talking about. What the hell? I can't believe this is real. The chief was a daimyo, a gentleman. Why the hell didn't they allow him an honorable death, huh?
The woodblock had other unfortunate news. As if a decapitation weren't humiliating enough, his head was to be displayed in Kyoto at the Sando Ohashi as a public declaration of his death. For 5 strong years, the Shinsengumi committed themselves to keeping Kyoto's citizens safe.
So, everything in Kyoto didn't matter, huh? They wanted to spit on his grave, is that it?
No, it's not like that. Anyway, a group called the Shogi Company was the last stalwart of shogunate interests in Edo, and they were holed up in Ueno, but... the Imperial Army is currently storming Ueno as we speak. Edo is now under total control of the Imperial Army, and they're tightening the city security.
Our window to escape just got that much smaller then, huh?
Yeah.
All of the stations around Edo are heavily fortified, though. It's hopeless.
We all fell silent, contemplating our predicament. We witnessed the sadistic treatment suffered at the hands of Imperials firsthand. They were ruthless in sniffing out any sign of shogunate loyalty in Edo. Under these circumstances, how could we ever expect to escape Edo, if not be forced to survive the bleak reality of Imperial occupation?
Man, what's the point in letting all of this bullshit get to you guys? If we look hard enough, I'm sure we can find a Sekisho or two with pansy-ass guards. Why are we getting down on ourselves before we try taking matters into our own hands?
You're right. More importantly, we've got a special package that requires delivering.
I instinctively looked over at the sword that had been intended for Hijikata from Kondo. It was up for us to transfer Kondo's blessing. We owed both Kondo and Hijikata that and more, and our minds were finally made up. With this newfound resolve, Soma grabbed the sword from off the desk and tied it to the band around his waist, and we gathered our things. Now's the time. Alright, just a sec. I need to blow my nose. We had decided to wait until dusk before moving out. Soma pointed us in the direction of a potential pose we could use to sneak out of the city, but...
Hey, you there! Freeze!
Oh my, Nomura, you're so close.
Shit, they spotted us!
On the main road, we found ourselves within sight of a patrolling soldier, so we sprinted off toward a narrow alley to lose him.
Huh, could have sworn I saw him just a minute ago. Did I lose him?
We were hiding behind some loose lumber, holding our breaths as the soldier inspected around the alley. Thankfully for us, we were covered in shadow, and he missed us as he poked his head near the lumber. Thick clumps of gray clouds blocked the moonlight, and the soldier wandered away in confusion.
Jeez, nearly had a heart attack back there. Talk about cutting it close.
Our uniforms are a dead giveaway. We would be far better off had we been wearing kimonos.
You're probably right. Just as I nodded in agreement, a voice called out in the darkness, prompting me to jump. Is it our boy? His name I always forget. I think it's like Ryunosuke or something like that.
God damn it, Cat. You made a mess of the garbage again.
I saw a cat with white fur and black patches dart through the alley, meowing as it ran off. Then we heard footsteps, presumably belonging to its owner.
Crap, we gotta hide!
All of us searched for another hiding place, but we were too slow and a gentleman approached us.
Huh? Someone there?
We'd been spotted! Yay! There he is. I'm so glad we get to see you again. A chill ran down my spine, and all of us slowly turned our heads to face him. Just then...
Hey! You look familiar.
Sorry. Have we met before?
Oh, do you not remember? A few years ago, you handed me a print related to the Shinsengumi.
Oh yeah! I remember you. Soma, was it? I thought I heard an Imperial soldier rummaging through here. Was he looking for...
Yes. I suppose you could say we're outlaws.
Outlaws, huh? Well, why don't you come stay at my place? If we chat out here, then more of them will surely come.
The gentleman spun around and began walking out of the alley. Soma? Do you and that man know each other?
Sort of. I think I mentioned him to you some time ago. Remember? It was the woodblock print that convinced me to join the Shinsengumi.
That one. Oh yes, that's right. Was that man affiliated with the Shinsengumi then? A flurry of questions came to mind.
Let's follow after him. At the very least, he's trustworthy, so we'll be safe with him.
Sounds good to me. As the gentleman escorted us to his house, Soma informed us that his name was Ibuki, and in his home a familiar face awaited us. Sono! Oh my gosh, you're here! That is awesome! I didn't think we get to see you again. Hooray!
Chizuru, Soma, Nomura. You have no idea how happy I am to see you alive. Harada! Just what are you doing here? What do you mean, what I'm doing here? Ryunosuke and I have been friends forever.
Hooray, I remembered his name.
But geez, Edo was the last place I ever expected to run into you guys. I thought for sure that you'd be over in Aizu with Hijikata. Well, you see...
I just noticed he has Kondo's sword on his belt now. That's pretty cool.
Gotcha. Just to recap, Soma's a Fury now, and somehow you guys escaped from Itabashi? I did hear the news about Kondo. Both Shinpachi and I were crushed when they told us. The guy had his faults, but he deserved better. We did our best to convince him to come with us. Hey man, don't be too hard on yourself. If Kondo's one thing, it's that he's stubborn. You can't save someone who's lost the will to live.
So what happened with you, Harada? Weren't you and Nagakura together?
Eh? Oh man, that's a sad story. See, we were over in Ueno, working alongside the shogi company, but... Well, you guys heard about what happened. Things went downhill real fast.
The shogi company. No one else responded, and Nagakura's fate was left to our imaginations, though we could infer. Wow. Well, I'm thrilled to see you safe, Harada.
Yeah? Well, I guess at the end of the day, I've got good luck when it comes to dodging death.
What do you mean? It isn't because of good luck. You were...
Ryunosuke. That's enough. No need to go on.
Harada shot a cold glance at Ibuki, who shut his mouth in embarrassment.
Anyway, the chances of running into you here are pretty crazy, huh? Must be fate. Tell you what, I'm gonna help you guys sneak out of Edo.
What? Are you serious?
Course. I can't turn my back on a bunch of old friends of mine, can I? Especially in these times.
Hey! I'm not sure that's such a good idea. You're...
Before Ibuki could finish, Harada glared at him, and he failed to finish his thought once again. Ibuki, what are you trying to say?
It's all good. Besides, I've already told him so. Are you absolutely certain? Yup. If I abandon you now, I'd be sullying my name, especially since I was a former Shinsengumi captain.
Sana, what's going on? Harada stood up and grabbed his spear resting against the wall before bidding Ibuki farewell.
Well, later, Ryunosuke. Thanks for taking great care of me.
Ibuki's demeanor was shifty, and he refused to look Harada in the eye.
You know, this isn't news to me, but... You really are a fool.
Yeah, but I've never really thought of my intelligence as one of my better assets. Still hurts me to hear you say it, though.
Ibuki nervously bit his lip and had no retort with which to give Harada. He looked as though he'd wanted to tell Harada something, but nothing came from it.
Look, man. I appreciate the sentiment, and I know you're just looking out for me. But if I don't help him, then I'll probably regret it. This is a chance we can't miss. So long, friend. When that girl of yours returns, send her my regards for me, will ya?
Harada tipped his chin and exited through the sliding door. I think I preferred our farewell when we were on Sano's route. Ibuki got some closure, at least. There was something peculiar about Harada's farewell, almost as if it were definitive, but I hadn't wanted to read too much into it, given that Harada often kept his feelings to himself. Soma, on the other hand, was at a loss for words, and Ibuki continued to hang his head low. Eventually, Soma broke the silence.
Sorry, Ibuki.
After giving an apology, Soma ran after Harada. I appreciate your kindness. Thank you again. Ibuki simply stared at me and I stepped outside. Harada seemed to understand what accompanying us through Edo's borders meant. It was almost certainly a death wish, away from the luxuries upon which he could have coasted in Edo. He was leaving behind Ibuki, Nagakura, and the rest of his sentimental attachments. But even so, we must beat onwards in honor of those we've lost. Gotta lose Harada again. Not like this. Harada led us to a sekisho situated outside of town, and we were careful to scan the area. According to a signpost, we had arrived in Senju.
You were right. This sekisho has far fewer guards than most of the others.
They're probably still dealing with the shogi company. This might be our only shot at passing through one of the sekisho.
Right.
Okay, Harada. How should we do this?
There's a narrow passageway you can squeeze through, just underneath the storm drain there. Really? Then let's... Just to warn you, there's no guarantee that they won't catch you. You can never be too sure, and they're itching to find Shogunate loyalists out here. But if we distract them, that's different. Then allow me to serve as the distraction. If I transform into a fury, then I'll be able to withstand anything they throw at me.
Soma's offer was met with a gruff look from Harada.
Cool it, kid. Didn't Kondo order you not to let her out of your sight? Are your balls so small that you have to overcompensate or something? Well...
Soma was without a rebuttal, and Nomura sniggered off to the side. Nomura, no! How dare you snigger at that? Oh my gosh. What a boy. After shaking his embarrassment, Soma pressed on.
I'm kinda nervous to admit this, but honestly, I'm not sure if I've got what it takes to protect her. So I need to use what I've got, right? Otherwise, I'd never get anything done for the Shinsengumi. Man, those balls must be tiny. So just because you've got no confidence, you're gonna give up? Don't you care at all about the vow you made? Ugh.
Soma shut his eyes, fighting back tears.
Huh.
Harada scoffed and turned toward Nomura and myself.
Never mind him. I'll serve as the distraction so that all of you can reach Aizu in good time.
Wait, you're not coming with us, Harada?
Yeah! How do you expect us to abandon you here, Harada? Let me have my moment for once, would you, kid? You think I came out here despite leaving from the Shinsengumi without being willing to give my life? But you're only human, Harada. You can't handle as much.
Soma and Nomura both took turns trying to convince Harada to change his mind, but... like Kondo, trying to do so was futile. For the same reasons as it was for Kondo, too. Harada, you're injured, aren't you? I was wondering if that's what it was. Like, Harada's got a wound that's probably... well, it might be fatal. It might not quite be fatal, but it's a big hindrance for him. So this is kind of like his last stand.
Huh?
Soma's eyes shot wide open as he shifted his eyes over toward Harada.
Nothing escapes you, does it? Doesn't surprise me that you noticed since your dad's a doctor. Yeah, I got hurt pretty badly during a scuffle in Ueno. All this time I've been bummed because I hadn't been able to leave for Aizu, but... thankfully you guys came along to set the stage for my final performance after all. What?
Soma balled his hand into a fist from frustration. He appeared to be deliberating with himself for solutions that could work with Harada's plan, but also keep Harada alive long enough to join us. But he relented, for Harada seemed resigned to his sole intention of dying to buy us an opportunity to leave.
You've all got entire lives ahead of you. Make sure to make them count, Soma and Nomura. Ugh.
Soma fell into a stupor, slumping his shoulders as Harada bid them farewell.
Understood. Good luck, Harada.
Soma could barely look Harada in the eye. He faced us and muttered under his breath coolly.
Miss Yukimura, Nomura, let's move.
Harada, thank you again.
You're gonna be alright, yeah? You won't let him get you, right? I mean, really. Who can kill the great Harada, huh?
Sheesh, if you guys are gonna be such pussies about it, then I'm gonna have to knock some sense in you from the afterlife. Oh well. Till next we meet, you bastards. See you in the next one.
Harada grabbed his spear from behind his back and winked at me playfully before shouting out. No, don't give me Sano feels. How dare you? Sanosuke!
Sanosuke Harada, the former captain of the Shinsengumi's 10th Division, is here, bitches! Anyone who opposes me is a dead man, you hear?
What up, bitches? It's your boy, Sanosuke. With that, the three of us sprinted toward the drain. What a boy.
I think we've run far enough. I don't think the Imperial troops would follow us all the way here.
Alright. Let's set up camp then, shall we?
Hell yeah! Ooh, I picked this spot here. You guys can have the patches of dirt over there.
I'm going to scout the area to see if it's clear. Watch after Miss Yukimura, okay?
Nomura nodded, and Soma walked over the hill to survey the surrounding area. Alright, Nomura, you and me. Give me all the deets about Soma. Let's chat. Long after we set up a campfire, however, Soma had yet to return, and my stomach began to turn.
Jeez, he's taking his sweet-ass time, isn't he? I wonder if he got lost.
I'm going to search for him. Stay here and keep the camp safe, Nomura.
Hey, let me join you.
No, it's okay. I'll be back in just a second. Sprints away before he can object. I ambled down the trail, squinting for any sign of him behind the trees or resting on the meadow. Eventually, I found Soma sitting with his head buried in his hands. There you are, Soma. Would you mind if I sat next to you? Soma stared blankly into the darkness, offering me no response as he fiddled with a twig in his hand. I hadn't bothered to wait for his response and instead decided to sit on a patch of grass beside him. I'm going to stare at you with my worried face. You tell your senpai what's wrong now, okay? Cicadas filled the air with their incessant chirping. For a while, we sat in silence until Soma snapped a twig in half and spoke under his breath.
I once again live at the expense of another life. Not only had I abandoned the chief, but now I've left Harada behind to die as well.
I knew how much guilt Soma had harbored from his experience at the Battle of Toba Fushimi. He never made mention of it, but I knew it was a burden he tossed in his mind often without fail. Losing friends and colleagues, especially one that he had sworn to protect, must have devastated him. Soma was above all things conscientious and devoted, which contributed to his habit of atoning for things outside of his control. Even so, I couldn't let him shoulder all of that burden alone. You didn't abandon them, Soma.
I might as well have. Why? Why did I deserve to live? The bottom rung of the goddamn chain. Why not the chief? Or Harada? I was given a second chance at life, but I've done nothing with it. I'm pathetic. The chief, Harada, Inoue, Yamazaki. All of those people counted on me, and I let them down. They deserve to be here, not me.
His voice quivered weakly against the sea of cicadas. If I hadn't come and found him, there was no doubt in my mind that he would be sobbing. Well, we can't have that, can we? Everything he had said made so much sense to me, because... the shocked look of, is her hand touching my hand? Whoa! Yeah, I was gonna say, Chizuru basically feels like that in every route, so... She knows what you're going through, man. I feel the same way. Soma held his breath, gasping in befuddlement as he looked back at me. So many people in the Shinsengumi have given their lives to protect me. I'm just a burden, both in life and on the battlefield. Even at the compounds, demons came after me. But here I am, still alive.
No, don't think of it that way.
Someone snapped out of his mood and patted my back. What a sweetheart. Even in his most vulnerable moment, he pounced at the opportunity to comfort me. I smiled at him warmly and watched the branches above us rustle from a gust of wind. Then, why don't we sit on this question together? Why fate decided that we should live? If we stick together and wade through all of this pain and suffering, we might live to find out. Let me say one more thing. I guess I shouldn't jinx it by saying this, but I'm really, really happy that you're still here with me, Soma.
Miss Yukimura.
My name felt so safe in his quivering mouth. Although he seemed seconds away from bursting to tears, they came from a place of endearment rather than a self-imposed sense of guilt. He never admitted as much to me, but we shared in this thoughtful moment in peace, soothed by the song of the cicadas around us. How sweet. Meanwhile, Nomura is just tending the fire, waiting for these two to get back.
Should I go check on them? What if they're smooching, though? That'd be awkward. But what if they're in trouble? But they're more likely smooching. Oh,
my boy. Did we just go to a new chapter? Did I, completely miss that? I think we might be in a new chapter. That's the wrong one. I wanted to see where we are. Whew, 50%. This is slow goes, man. The three of us relocated from our makeshift campsite to the Senju Inn and made off for Aizu by sunrise to reunite with the Shinsengumi. Oh, hi, Toshi. We overheard rumors in the inn of Hijikata? Oh, okay. No, not Hijikata's inn. We overheard rumors in the inn of Hijikata working with the Denshu Company to bolster the army of shogunate sympathizers still flying their banners. The collective of shogunate loyalists made a daring attempt to lay siege at Utsunomiya Castle, but they were quickly outdone by the standing imperial troops. Afterwards, the shogunate troops, including Hijikata, fled for Nikko to regather themselves. Keeping all of this in mind, we stayed out of range of Utsunomiya Castle and headed straight for Nikko. Avoiding Imperial troops was proving to be an exercise in futility, however, as there were several Imperial encampments between Senju and Nikko. Thus, we had chosen to move only at dusk to hide ourselves in the safety of darkness. 3 may have been a crowd, but at least we were safe. Or so we thought. By the time we had reached the outskirts of Nikko, a platoon spotted us. Great. Ah, sheesh! I was not expecting that.
They went that way! Find them!
God damn it! I'm shocked that they found us.
It's because you set up a campfire, you idiot.
You guys! We can argue later. Just keep running! With Imperial soldiers hot in pursuit, we sped out of there in a panic, dashing into a nearby thicket. Hold your arguments for later, boys!
Whew. Seems like we lost them. Alright, I guess we should probably take a breather.
No, we have no time for a breather.
Soma was still on high alert, keeping his guard raised as he peered into a gathering of bushes. Eventually I saw it too. A luminous pair of red eyes flashing spookily in the darkness. As it walked closer, we saw the figure to whom the crimson eyes had belonged. Is that a fury?
I'll handle him. Stay back, Miss Yukimura.
Oh, Nomura in fighting stance! I haven't seen that yet. Nice. Man, you hold your sword weird, though, Nomura.
Hang on! You're not the only one who wants to get in on all the good stuff!
The two swordsmen unleashed their swords from their sheaths and eagerly charged at the lone fury.
Ugh! This one's pretty hefty, huh?
They took turns flailing their blades at the fury, but it absorbed each of their swords without flinching.
Guess I'll just have to become a fury.
Before Soma had the chance to transform... Green? Soji? Heisuke? Sanan? Who could it be? Ah! The fury shrieked in pain, gurgling blood as its body slammed against the floor of the forest. A swordsman appeared from behind it, his blade gleaming underneath the dazzling moonlight. Soji! I was hoping it was you! I like that shade of green. It's gotta be him. Let's just have everybody die in this route. Kondo, Harada, Soji, Nomura, Toshi probably. Just have all the deaths. Great. Just wonderful. Not that it's not good to see you, Soji. I love you. Okita? I caught the foul stench of a fury sneaking around here. Lo and behold, here you are. What are you doing here, Okita? How has your condition been? Spare me the chit-chat. Where's Hijikata?
Actually, we are currently in the middle of a trek to reunite with Commander Hijikata.
Oh, gotcha. He's a wily little fox, isn't he? Whatever. So tell me, what are Kondo's pages doing all the way out here?
Okita, I don't know how to tell you this, but Chief Kondo's been executed by the Imperial Army.
As soon as Nomura tried breaking the news to Okita, Okita began barking back at him indignantly. You think I don't know that? That's why I'm asking why Hijikata, who stabbed Kondo's back, isn't here with you!
You don't understand! We tried our best to break the Chief out of imprisonment! But the Chief, he insisted on staying and told us to give something to the commander.
Chief Kondo's dying wish was that we deliver this precious gift to Commander Hijikata. We are currently working to fulfill his wish.
Someone reached the sword over to Okita, who snatched it coldly before examining it. I'm like, yeah, Soji's like dressed up and trekking. It's because he heard about Kondo dying and is like, I'm going to stab Toshi between the eyeballs. Because that's who Soji is. His eyes moved from its hilt to the tip of its blade, and he squinted at the ornate etchings. Shinkai Inoue. Kondo said this was for Hijikata.
Yes. He viewed it as a symbol for revival, in particular for the Shinsengumi's rebirth.
I see. Kondo's giving this to Hijikata, huh? Okita muttered under his breath scathingly. As he handed it back to Soma, Okita immediately keeled over and began coughing violently. Gah! Okita reflexively brought his fist to his mouth as he covered his cough, spewing blood onto his hand before it continued dribbling to the floor. Okita! You're coughing up blood! Please, you must take a seat. Not sure if I can afford to. You three, get the hell out of here. As Okita tilted his head up, we followed the direction to where his eyes had been pointing. Oh, great. Don't tell me the Fury smelled his cough blood. That is just wrong on so many levels. A posse of vicious, salivating Furies crept towards us, and my chest tightened in fear.
Furies? Where the hell did they come from?
Leave it to me. I'll buy us some time. All of you should make a break for it.
The hell are you on about, Pipsqueak? You aren't strong enough to handle them. Leave it to a captain.
You're in no condition to fight, Okita.
I'm not. How about waiting to see for yourself?
Blood trickled from the side of Okita's lips. He spread his feet out wide, hacking up a lung while continuing to spit blood out of his mouth. My boy! One of the Furies sprinted out of formation, raising its sharp nails toward Okita. Okita! Run!
Ah!
Yellow! In the blink of an eye, some of the Furies were ripped asunder, blood splattering in thick bursts from what used to be their abdomens. Heisuke? Appearing behind their dismembered remains was... Yes! Yes! My boy! My other boy! Don't tell me you're gonna die here too! I swear, Heisuke.
Chizuru? And Soma, Nomura, and... Soji, is that you? I trailed a pack of Furies heading this way. What the heck are all of you doing out here?
Heisuke!
Oh, it's you, Heisuke. Do me a favor and stay out of my way. I wanted to kill him myself. Jeez, man. You haven't changed at all. Has anyone told you how terrible you look? And would it kill you to say thank you?
Wait, Toto. If you're here, does that mean the commander is here too? We've got something for Commander Hijikata, and heard he was in Nikko for the time being. I'm afraid to say we got a little held up, but thankfully Captain Okita was here to save us.
Ah, gotcha. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Hijikata isn't in Nikko anymore. He's still en route to Aizu.
What?
Yo, Soji! Mind telling everyone what the hell you were thinking getting out of bed?
Keep it down, would you, Heisuke? Some of us still need our ears. Besides, we've got unwanted guests.
Yeah, that we do.
Heisuke nodded resolutely, and both of them put their backs together with their swords raised. Pairs of scarlet eyes dotted every nook and cranny of the forest, sending a shiver down my spine.
Soma and Nomura, you two grab Chizuru and head for Hijikata.
Huh? No way, I'm fighting too!
Yeah, me too!
Your skill's no good here, you idiots. All you do is get in the way. Do you think we need help from a couple of pages?
Or would you rather face the wrath of two annoyed captains?
Oh, okay.
But, Okita!
It's alright. I'm with Soji. The two of us will manage just fine. We'll be right behind you.
Soma, you'd better do whatever it takes to get Hijikata that sword, you hear me?
Yes, sir. I promise I will deliver to him safely.
Okita and Heisuke will be waiting for you in Aizu.
Alright. Soma, Nomura, Godspeed, boys.
Tell Hijikata to wait for me out there. Actually, never mind. Just tell him I said hey.
Understood. Good luck out there, gentlemen.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All three of us broke into a panicked sprint. Without speaking or looking over our shoulders, we wove through the rows of trees. Behind us, blood-curdling screams cried out, and I winced as I listened to chunks of flesh being sliced apart by steel until we ran out of range. Why is everyone dying in this route? Why?